Hello friends, Tom Downey here for College Football Now. USA Today has just released their list of college football coaching salaries for most of the college football coaches out there. So we're going to take you through the top 20 highest paid CFP coaches from number 20 all the way down to number 1. There are, by the way, a few head scratchers on this list. We'll start things off in the Pac-12. David Shaw checks in at number 20, a little over $4.3 million. I think that's a pretty good deal for Stanford. Same too with Washington. Chris Petersen, $4.37 million. That's a pretty good deal. Mark Dantonio, I still think one of the more underrated coaches in all of college football. For the most part, he does a fantastic job with Sparty, getting the most out of a team that doesn't recruit as well as some of the other Big Ten powers. Kirk Ferentz there at number 17. Shouldn't be a surprise given that he's been at Iowa since 1999. At a certain point, your salary is just going to keep going up the longer you're there. And then one of several coaches tied for 15th is James Franklin. And we'll get to some other Big Ten coaches on this list, and Franklin actually seems underpaid compared to those guys. His buyout there at just $18.375 million. He's done a really good job at Penn State, even though he can't quite find a way to get past the Ohio State Buckeyes. A couple of tough losses there for Franklin's Penn State squad. All right, we'll keep it rolling here with some more teams. Also tied, or more coaches, I should say. Also tied at 15 is the young Lincoln Riley, $4.8 million. Gary Petersen checks in there, $4.84. Lovie Smith, what? Tied for 10th at $5 million. What is going on here? How is Lovie Smith one of the 10 highest paid coaches in all of college football? That doesn't make any sense to me. His buyout's, I guess, not that bad. But whoever Lovie Smith's agent is the best agent out there. Because how did he get Illinois to pay Lovie Smith $5 million? Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Wildly overpaid. In fact, I actually think he's the most overpaid coach in college football. But I do want to hear if you guys disagree. Now, a bunch of other coaches that we'll get to. Who is the most overpaid head coach out there? I think it's a no-brainer. You're paying Lovie Smith more than Penn State's paying James Franklin. How did you even end up with that? I know that Smith has some ties to the state from his time as the Chicago Bears head coach, but that's a brutal hire. I don't like that whatsoever. I think it's Smith, and frankly, it's a little bit of a no-brainer to me. All right, some more of those coaches that were on that slide there. Willie Taggart, not looking great so far. Also not looking great, Scott Frost. You kind of see a bit of a clumping there. Some of the new guys got paid that $5 million salary. If you're Taggart, are you at least maybe a little bit concerned given how poorly things have gone so far? The good news is his buyout checks in at almost $22 million, so he should be okay on that end. Frost, of course, not going to get fired anytime soon. Nebraska, I think, is in a pretty rough spot overall as a program. Folks, if you guys have played FanDuel in the past for fantasy football, if you haven't done it, they've also got some college games. So if you haven't signed up with FanDuel, go do it now. Go to FanDuel.com/chatsports. If you use that link, they'll hook you up with another $25 to play with your first deposit of $5. That's a great deal. Put down $5. They'll give you $20 for free. You're playing with house money at FanDuel if you sign up at FanDuel.com/chatsports. All right, some more coaches here on the highest paid CFP coaches list. How about Mike Gundy? First off, love the mullet. Absolutely adore his hair. He's making $5 million as well. We kind of separated him from Frost and Taggart because I think they made a little bit more sense on the previous slide together. Tom Herman checks in there at number 9 at $5.5 million. He'd been higher in the past, but I think this is actually about right for Herman if, of course, he's able to get Texas back on track. Of course, that hasn't quite happened yet. Dan Mullen, another new hire, seems a little high at $6.07 million. I didn't think that was going to be the case for the Florida Gators to pay him that much, but his buyout actually is relatively low. How about Dabo Swinney at $6.5 million? We'll get to him. Kirby Smart also checks in at $6.6. Two great coaches. Dabo at $7, actually, I think is a steal. Yeah, his buyout's high. Of course it is, because he's been a fantastic coach for Clemson. I think Dabo's a top 5 coach in college football. To pay him 7th, I think is a steal. And granted, I think maybe college coaches in general are a little bit overpaid. But I think that Dabo has a strong case to be the most underpaid coach in all of college football. Let me know if you guys agree. If you have somebody else in mind, let me know in the comments section. I lean more towards Dabo, but I think there are several quality candidates out there. For example, like a Mark Dantonio. All right, let's dive in now to the top 5 highest paid college football coaches. At number 5 is Gus Malzahn, and I kind of think that Gus is a little bit overpaid. Now, he kind of benefited because Arkansas tried to go to go lure him away from the Tigers, and Auburn paid out the wazoo to keep him. His buyout's super high, but I wouldn't be surprised if Auburn is kind of a perennial 3-loss team. Should you really be paying Gus Malzahn that much money to lose 3 games every single year? I kind of think he's a little bit overpaid. Auburn fans, let me know if you guys disagree, agree, or just outright hate me. Let me know in the comments section. Type Y for yes, he is, and type N for no, he's not. All right, number 4. This one shouldn't be surprised he's so high. Jimbo Fisher. Now, he's making about $7.5 million. Look at that buyout. And I know it's because he signed that 10-year deal, and that's the nature of a long-term deal with, just having been signed. But his buyout is $30 million more than any other head coach in college football. That's insane. I know that he's a good coach, and he was very successful at FSU, but A&M clearly thinks they got the right guy in Jimbo Fisher. If not, they're going to be stuck with him or paying a massive, massive bill for Jimbo Fisher. All right, folks, we'll keep it rolling here with some more highest paid college football coaches. At number 3, it is one Jim Harbaugh. Now, his buyout only $17 million. Not that I think that's a big concern right now. And maybe you think Jim Harbaugh is a little bit overpaid. I actually don't feel that way, because remember when this deal was signed. It was when Harbaugh was the coach coming off his time with the 49ers, and he had to go back to his alma mater in Michigan. It made too much sense for both parties. So I don't really think Harbaugh is that overpaid. From a win-loss perspective, sure, but I think he's a great coach, and I think he's definitely worthy of being one of the top 5 highest-paid coaches in all of college football, even though he does need to get Michigan turned on a little bit sooner than later, because the lack of bowl game success, the lack of CFP berths, and lack of Big Ten titles isn't really what Michigan fans signed up for. Into the top 2, and the top 2 really should kind of be no-brainers, right, guys? Urban Meyer checking in at number 2, making a whopping $7.6 million. It's a big drop, or a big drop after the top 4 guys, by nearly a full million between Malzahn at 6.7 and Jimbo at 7.5. Urban there at 3.8, or at a $38 million buyout. Could have been an issue maybe a little bit ago, but that seems to have gone by the wayside right now for Ohio State. In terms of on-the-field coaching, though, there's no reason why he shouldn't be one of the 2 highest-paid coaches in college football. But at number 1, I am sure you guys guessed it from the very beginning, it's Nick Saban. Well, duh, right? Of course Saban is number 1. Look at what he's done at Alabama. He's been absolutely incredible, winning national titles left and right. And this team that he has this season might be the best he's ever had, now that he's got competent quarterback play. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, maybe you can make an argument for an Urban Meyer to be up there as well, but I think that Nick Saban, by a couple million as well, should definitely be the highest paid coach in college football. Because I think that Nick Saban is the best coach in college football. Now, let me know in the comment section if you guys agree or disagree. I'll go with Saban. I don't want to throw any shade at an Urban Meyer or even a Dabo, but I think that Nick Saban is the best coach in all of college football. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comment section. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the best college football coverage we got for you guys. Highlights, news, rumors, analysis. Just go to youtube.com/chatsportstv.